everyone, and welcome back to a Wine Affair podcast. Today, I am doing a continuation of my wine series, Women in Wine, and I'm very excited to have my guests on today from Hip Chicks Do Wine in Portland, Oregon, a very fun wine brand that I came across, and I'd love to introduce them to you. Laurie and Renee, they are the owners and winemakers of this very fun winery. So welcome, you guys, and thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys were kind enough to send me 3 of your wines, and I'm taking it, we're going to start with this white first. So I just want to make sure, these labels are so fun. I just want to make sure that everybody sees these. So this one has on the bottom of it, Vin Nombre. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Van Nombre.
Van Nombre. Okay. And it says belly button wine. So I would like you to tell me first off what that means as I pour a little bit.
Yeah, so belly button wine is one of the wines that we've made since the very beginning. Okay. So for the last 26 years. I originally wanted to call it panty dropper wine, and Renee wouldn't let me. She didn't want to have to explain to people what panty dropper wine was. Of course, I thought that needed no explanation. But belly button wine is a semi-sweet white blend. The grapes change from year to year. The consistency that we try to keep with it is that it's always the same residual sugar.
Okay.
Because folks who fall in love with this wine, it's that specific level of sweetness, which is around 3.5% residual sugar. That's what they like about it.
So it makes it not too sweet, not too dry, right in the middle, just like your belly button.
Okay.
Or you can drink so much you show your belly button.
Oh, I mean, or that could happen.
I just figure once you get it home, it's all your business.
It is all your business. And I love it. Okay. I already love this so much. The color is really pretty. This is a very light gold, and it's really pretty. And on the nose, oh my gosh, right away.
Yeah. It's a beautiful blend of half Muscat and half Riesling. So you get all the aromatics from the Muscat, and you get the nice light notes of the Riesling on the finish.
Yeah, I can definitely smell that Muscat just right up front. Wow.
And yet, even though it's got a decent amount of residual sugar, we try to keep all of our wines with good acidity. For me, that's what makes a wine a good food pairing wine. And we do a lot of wine and food pairings. And so I like that this is a nice clean sweet, not diabetic coma sweet.
That you just said it perfectly, because I was just going to say this tastes very clean to me. It's not cloyingly sweet.
Yes.
It's not coating my mouth and doing all of that. It's got some nice sweetness, but it's not in the way for me, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it always goes back to just making sure that you still have a decent amount of acidity. So we do pick these grapes a little bit earlier in the season so that we get that acidity. And that to me just is key.
Absolutely. Yeah. And because again, with all of the wines that we make, the acidity is very important, because for us, we like, a lot of people just like to drink wine, sure, but a lot of people are having this with food. So it just makes a really nice pairing.
Yeah, I can see this pairing with a lot of different foods.
Oh, yeah. I especially like it with spicier foods, so then you get a little something to offset the heat.
For sure. I would definitely pair this with my favorite Thai food.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah, this is delicious.
Yeah.
What is the growing cycle on this? How long does it take you guys to produce?
Well, so we usually end up picking these grapes in early October, maybe late September, depending on what the year is like. But most of the Oregon picking season is going to be in October. And we do get these grapes from Oregon vineyards. And then we're usually ready to bottle it as early as March of the following year. All of our white wines, this wine included, are stainless steel fermented and aged. So we don't have any oak on our whites or rosés. So it just keeps everything fresh and fruity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very, very nice. And you're right, Renee. It is right in the middle. I mean, it's really spot on in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It makes it a nice compromise wine. You know, when you have two people and maybe one only likes red and one only likes white, a lot of the red wine drinkers can still compromise and be like, oh yeah, I could see where I could have this, you know, at the end of my meal or something. And so it makes it nice for people who have very different palates.
And
Yeah,
also,
for sure.
oddly enough, beer drinkers love this wine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we used to have a brewery that was across from us, and with the 10 years that that brewery was there, people that would come in from over there, they would pick this wine as one of their favorite wines.
Huh.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. but good for you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they were like, if you like beer, try this wine. They're like, you're right, I like this. It's really weird, but it works.
Okay. Well, this is lovely. I'm going to get your next one here. So, Pinot Gris.
Yes.
One of my favorite white varietals, for sure.
Me too.
And this one, I see Willamette Valley 2021 on the back of this. Okay.
Yeah, so this wine was a fun one for us. I mean, we've made Pinot Gris for years, but in 2019, we decided to do a small batch, just a couple of stainless steel barrels that we gave a little bit of skin contact to. So we only had like 40-ish cases of it, and we ended up releasing that wine in 2020, right in the middle of all of the pandemic closures. And amazingly enough, we sold it all before we ever reopened our tasting room and could even put it on our tasting list, because we were doing home deliveries at the time, and folks just seemed to like the description of it. And we didn't even get to bring any home for ourselves. Yeah. So in 2021, we were like, that went over really well. Let's recreate that. Only the Pinot Gris piglet that Renee is, we made a heck of a lot more of it in 2021. And I think it was a good decision because it's a very unique wine. We did about 12 hours of a cold soak of the juice on the crushed grapes. And then the next morning we came in and pressed off all of that juice and fermented it in stainless steel. So this skin contact Pinot Gris, not only does it have that really pretty, like peachy pink color to it.
Yeah, the color is gorgeous.
Yeah. But you end up with less minerality than what I think most folks are used to in Pinot Gris, and a lot more structure on your palate. To me, it almost has a hibiscus rosehip tea note to it.
Yep. I definitely get the hibiscus for sure.
Just a little bit fuller bodied.
Which I also think is interesting considering that, again, this is stainless steel fermented and stainless steel aged. So there's no oak, happening here.
Or malolactic fermentation.
But you get that mouthfeel almost like it was in oak, but without the oakiness. I don't know. It's just a fun wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm getting that.
Yeah.
I am getting that mouthfeel. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's also like an orange wine, but without the stanky parts of orange wines.
Right. Without the funk.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that like those funky orange wines, and that's fine. I'm going to let them drink them. I tend to like that cleaner, note when it comes to whites and rosés. And again, like something that's really easy to pair with food. This is a fun one to pair with food as well. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun wine to make.
This is very unique. I can't say that I've had a Pinot Gris like this before.
Yeah.
Well, we like to do stuff like that every once in a while. I mean, because we are small enough to do that, we can be like, let's try this and see if people like it. Right? So we did, and we found out that people like it, so we made more. That's kind of the whole idea. Our wine club was basically our guinea pigs, if you will, for the kind of wines that we think people might like. So we're going to put it out there, and they have no problem telling us if they like it or not. They like this, so we made more. So that kind of thing. So
yeah, this is bravo, you guys. This is very unique. I
love
this. Yeah, this would be. I mean, I'm in my head. I'm food pairing.
Right? Yeah.
With salmon, like this would be delicious with salmon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Well, and I think too, everybody in the wine industry is concerned, and rightly so, on how to attract younger wine drinkers' attention.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a really good wine to do that with. With the younger, more Gen Z wine drinkers that we've interacted with in our tasting room or at events, this wine speaks to them.
It does.
It's just different enough. It's just unique enough. And they want those interesting experiences. They want to know the story behind why you made a wine a certain way. And this wine definitely calls to those younger wine drinkers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is yay. This is the best. I mean, for me, the best part of tasting from small wineries like you is the experimentation, the willingness to kind of go, let's just try this.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we have the flexibility to do that. I mean, there are certain things that we have to have that are consistent from vintage to vintage, like we were talking to you about the Belly Button wine. It always has the same amount of residual sugar. But outside of that, we can do a lot more experimentation. Yeah.
Well, and that's the fun part about making wine. If you just made the same wine year in and year out,
that's a factory.
That would get old. I mean, we're not making Coca-Cola here.
Right.
Right. I was going to say, that is the fun part for you guys, I would imagine, is coming up with these new, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm always excited when like a new grower reaches out to us and they happen to have a grape that maybe we've never worked with before. And we have the chance to really play around with that and see if it's something that we enjoy and our customers enjoy. I mean, because if customers don't like it, that's a hell of a lot of wine I got to drink myself.
Right. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to go into the red wine that you sent me.
Yes.
I love this label so much.
Thank you. Yeah, so this wine is a part of a set of 3. All of the original artwork was done by the same artist.
Oh, okay.
We call them the wine bunnies, but we call them that because she's the one who called them wine bunnies. We used to feature her artwork at our winery back in the early days. And one day I just emailed her out of the blue and I was like, hey, have you ever thought about designing a wine label for me? And literally 30 seconds later, she sent me back the prototype for the Wine Bunny Rouge, which is what you're pouring in your glass right now.
Wow.
So apparently she had been thinking about it. And I said, I love this. Let's just change this and that. And then could I have 2? I said, I want a white and a red wine label. And my only request was that they not be white women, because this was back in 2005. And especially in 2005, if you saw a wine label that had a woman on it, 99.999% of the time, that woman was going to be white. And so she created these 2 very different labels for us, Wine Bunny Blanc and Wine Bunny Rouge. And after a month or so, I said, well, could you make me a bunny with pink hair? We don't even make a blush, but I need a third bunny to round out this set of wine labels. And so, yeah, they're some of my favorite wine labels that we have.
Yeah, that's so fun. And beautiful violet color on this.
Yeah, it's a younger wine. I mean, all the fruit for this is 2020.
Okay.
So it is relatively young fruit for this.
Yeah, and the fun thing with the Wine Benny Rouge, it is a blend. It has never been the same blend twice. It is, the consistent thing about it is its inconsistency.
I like that. Okay.
It's historic,
spicy.
Well, yeah, but it historically has been anywhere between 4 and 7 different grapes. But we always try to make it a little on the more spicy or peppery side because we have 2 red blends. Drop Dead Red is always smooth. It's a Cab Merlot blend. So it's your nice, smooth, easy drinking red blend. And this one always is more peppery or more spicy, kind of on the other end of the spectrum. Again, because I feel like this is more the food wine.
Okay.
So this is mainly Petit Verdot and Syrah. And then it also has Cab Franc, Merlot, and what else?
And Malbec.
And Malbec. So
it's a party in a bottle. It could be a party in your mouth.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where it's going right now. I'm a Cab Franc lover, so you have me at that.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's very complex, but it works altogether really well.
Yeah. You know, the first 2 wines we tasted today were both from Willamette Valley grapes. These are Washington grapes up in the Horse Heaven Hills.
Okay.
We typically source grapes from anywhere from 4 to 6 different vineyards in both Oregon and Washington. It just kind of depends on what we want to make as to where we go. But we always try to keep all the vineyards within about a 4.5 hour radius of Portland because that's my personal definition of local. I figure if I can drive there and get back in the same day, it's local. If I'm forced to spend the night, it's not local.
Well, forced, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we were ever forced to spend the night, but we liked it.
Well, let's be honest. I'm not the one picking up the grapes anyways, but if I were.
But yeah, this is definitely your food wine. We really love this with anything off the barbecue. Something that has a little bit of smoke to it. Yeah. Or any gamey meat or portobello mushroom or something that has a little bit of umami to it, if you will. Yeah, this really stands up to that and really complements that.
Yeah, I can see that. It makes me want to make a portobello mushroom burger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially with a little red wine barbecue sauce on top.
Yep. How much Petit Verdot is in here?
I want to say it's around 30% Petit Verdot. I think the Petit Verdot and the Syrah both were like 30 to 36%. And then much smaller amounts of the other 3 grapes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is delicious as well. I mean, such a great food wine.
Yeah.
And again, not too dry.
Yeah.
And it's like it's sort of lighter. Go ahead.
Yeah, the whole idea with the grapes, again, from this particular region, is they're very fruit forward. That's what I really like about this particular growing area that's in the Columbia Valley. They're in Washington, huge valley. This is a teeny tiny part of that valley that is up high on these hills where they get a lot of wind that comes through. Okay. So what happens is it stresses out the grapes a little bit, so they have a little bit thicker skins. So what you end up with is a very fruit forward style of grapes, if you will, that come from this region. They don't get baked to death, like some other regions where, we're like, it's all raisin. No, not so much. So very fresh, very fruity. That's what we love about this particular appellation. So again, that's what you're tasting in the glass.
So, and then of course we used a combination of both French and American oak on this.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 20% new oak on this. So again, it's just enough to give it a little bit more backbone,
Mm-hmm.
but not enough to like overtake it to where you're like, I have to let it sit down for like 10 years before I can enjoy it.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I think realistically, we recognize that the majority of our customers and the majority of wine buyers, when they go and purchase a bottle of wine, they've purchased it to drink it. I mean, like
Right.
they're taking it home and having it with dinner that night or that weekend or within the next month. And granted, is this wine just going to get better if you do have the ability to lay it down and age it? Yes, obviously. But not that many people have these multi-bottle wine cellars that are climate controlled, and we're just all regular folks wanting to share a bottle with friends. So we need to make sure that when we are choosing a blend and bottling a wine, that it's something that folks can enjoy now or can choose to save.
Yeah, because with these wines, you're right. They're really great right now. But if you were to lay this down for a year or two, it gets better.
Yeah.
It's very fun because there is enough acid in this wine for it to age.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, bravo again. This is delicious.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And very food friendly, and just, I mean, it's just the perfect, like, body wise, it's just perfect. It's not heavy. It's light enough to be where you could have it with most food. Also, and I'm always looking for wines that either I can drink on its own
Heck yeah.
or have with food. I want that option. This is one of those for me. I mean, I would enjoy a glass of this by itself.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is very, very, very nice. You guys have been at this for a long time. What has it been, 25 years, 26 years?
Yeah, this will be our 26th harvest this fall.
Wow. Congratulations on
Yes.
that. So give a little background on how y'all got started in this business, because I know the wine industry was a different different place when y'all started.
It
Which
really
is what I thought was so interesting about your story.
Yeah, when we first started going out wine tasting, we were going out wine tasting pretty much every weekend. I mean, living in Portland, traditional wine country is only 45 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
And we would spend most of our weekends out wine tasting, kind of figuring out what we liked and didn't like. And literally one day we were having a picnic at a winery in Dundee, looking at the beautiful rolling hills and talking about our lives. And we both worked very corporate jobs and talking about what we liked and didn't like about our current jobs. And suddenly one of us was like, wine looks like fun. And the other one said, well, it can't be that hard because men do it all the time. And that really kind of started our investigation into what if we left corporate America and started our own business and made wine.
Well, plus we also fell in love with the Oregon wine industry at the same time. I mean, the people that were making the wine, we got to meet a lot of growers, winemakers at the time, and loved the attitude. It was a very welcoming environment, absolutely for girls. Let's face it, girls making wine, which was kind of unheard of at that time.
Yeah.
So, but it was a very welcoming environment that we found with that. So again, it's kind of like, maybe we can make this happen.
Yeah. Well, and we were very lucky in that Chemeketa Community College, which is down in Salem, our state capital, they were just starting a winemaking program where you could take classes in both viticulture and enology. And so we got in at the ground floor, taking all of the viticulture classes that we could take with them. And of course, it didn't take very long for us to be like, I'm not a farmer. I don't want to grow any grapes. I mean, I can't keep succulents alive. I don't know that I think I could keep an entire vineyard alive. Um, but we were able to get in and learn so much about grape growing that just helped us farther along in the winemaking aspect. And then, of course, they went on to offer a bunch of winemaking classes, wine chemistry classes, wine appreciation classes.
Wine of the world.
It was a great time to be able to take those classes. Of course, still working our full-time day jobs. So there was a lot of commuting. Yeah.
It's called passion.
Yeah.
And with a capital P.
A little bit crazy too.
Yeah.
Crazy passion.
Well, and we took the time to make a few small 5-gallon batches of wine. So, we got our hands on apples and made apple wine, and we made strawberry wine, and we made exploding blueberry wine. And then the next year we went out and picked grapes at a U-Pick vineyard, and made some Pinot Gris and some Pinot Noir in larger amounts. And we were like, oh, that's not too bad. I mean, our friends drank it, so
it couldn't be too bad.
Yeah. So then eventually, I got a part-time job at the winery that we had our epiphany at, interestingly enough, and worked there for about 4.5 years. My mindset being, just because you can make wine does not mean you can sell wine.
So true.
And, considering I'd never run a business for myself, I wanted to make sure we could sell the things that we made. And I think that was a great way to do it, because it did give me a lot of insight into the industry. It opened the doors so that I could meet more people, pick their brains. I mean, some of the very first barrels that we purchased to age our first wines in, we bought used barrels from one of our favorite winemakers out in the valley, and used those barrels for years.
We did, like 10 plus years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I think what afforded that to happen really is that Oregon is a place where we collectively raise each other up. It's not where we're like, no, I'm not going to help you because you're my competition. No, that's not it. That's not what Oregon was built on. So with that collaboration, and I think the whole idea, especially back then, they were like, that's great that you want to make wine. We're going to welcome you in, even though you're girls.
Yeah.
So there was some welcoming aspect with that. I think that's the whole idea too, that makes Oregon such a great place to make wine, is the welcoming environment of camaraderie instead of competition.
Yeah,
absolutely. You can ask questions from any other winemaker in Oregon, and they're going to give you an honest feedback. They're willing to help. So it's that whole idea of camaraderie here in our industry here in Oregon.
That's great to hear. I mean, that's everything, right? I mean,
yeah.
So in that sort of vein, so let me take a side road for a second. Because you are women in a male-dominated wine world, still, unfortunately, has there been any sort of like hiccup or challenge as far as that goes?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Try being lesbians too.
It's interesting because there are so many women winemakers in Oregon now. Yeah. I mean, a couple of years ago, somebody wrote a big fancy article about women winemakers in Oregon, and it took me a second. I actually started going through and counting them, and of the wineries that I knew of, amazingly enough, at that time, about 30% of the Oregon wineries, the winemakers were women. And that seems like a really high number to me, again, in a more male-dominated field. But it's definitely been a challenge, maybe less now. I don't know. But in the early days, like, we would have people that would ask us things like, who's your winemaker? Yeah. Who's your winemaker? We'd be like, we're the winemakers. Oh, so your husband lets you be the winemaker? Like, no. Or they would say, well, who's going to unload this glass from this truck? And Renee's like sitting on the forklift. Like, I mean, you know, yeah, we got asked a lot about, do your husbands help you at your winery? I'm like, no, there's no husbands.
Are you sisters? Or some kind of sisters?
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I definitely feel like, there are enough women winemakers and winery owners now that it's a little bit less of a thing, but it doesn't mean that people don't have their own
preconceived notions.
Yeah, preconceived notions.
Yeah.
Especially dudes. And
that's where too, I think, there's a lot of people that really love our winery name, and there's a lot of people that don't. They kind of make an assumption on the fact that it's hip chicks do wine, or some of our more whimsical labels that we somehow can't be taken seriously. Or, I get a lot of, I'll be pouring wine at like an outside event, and somebody will taste it and they'll be like, oh, well, that's actually good. I mean, thanks for the backhanded compliment.
Yeah, right. What do you mean that's actually
right?
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, it doesn't suck, does it?
Right. Like,
you're right.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so it is, it is quirky, but maybe it's also the fact that, after having been at this for 26 years, I mean, that's more than half my life. So I'm sure I just take things differently now than I did 26 years ago.
Sure.
Well, and it's a different. Well, I'm sure we do. I mean, we're more mature, and yeah, absolutely, yeah. I don't know if other people are more mature, but we are.
Yeah. So, do you see? So you see the industry changing now? Are you noticing?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think as you look at the younger winemakers that are coming in and getting started, so many of them are young women.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I think again, the doors have been blasted open.
Yeah,
seriously. Now again, we have women forming together with groups and meeting and stuff to like lift each other up. Didn't have that back in 1999.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time.
Yeah.
I mean, I do remember like people being surprised and excited that we were going to be starting this winery, and just couldn't wait to see us open the doors. And now I kind of feel like it's a little more like old hat. Like
they're like, oh,
they've been around.
You're the grandmas now.
Jeez. Well, that's good. I mean, that gives me hope. I'm glad to hear that, because yeah, I know, Laurie, you mentioned when we were talking about the, was it the PDX Urban Wine Association? So there are, I feel like there's more of those things sort of popping up too, which is probably really helpful too, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think, people these days have realized that there is a little more strength in numbers. And so, urban wineries are so much more of a thing now than they were when we started. When we started making wine in an urban setting, there were literally only like 2 or 3 other urban wineries in the country that I know of. At least for the article that somebody contacted me to write, there were only 3 of us mentioned in that article. And now these days you've got urban wineries in big cities across the US,
and
the world. I mean, you've got urban wineries in London, you've got urban wineries in Sydney, Australia. Those weren't around 20 some odd years ago. But I think, people have opened their mind to the idea that you don't have to own your own vineyard. You don't have to have a facility out in the middle of nowhere. Traditional wine country.
Right.
There's so many more vineyards that grow grapes just as an agricultural product, that don't make wine out of them. And a lot of consumers don't realize how many more just vineyards there are than wineries that also have vineyards. It's just like, growing corn or grass seed or raising animals. Like, grapes are just another agricultural product to them.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
And
Interesting.
a lot of these people, they just don't grow grapes. I mean, they have a farm.
Yeah.
They just
Right.
happen to have grapes and cows and other things.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think people think like that either.
No, they don't.
No.
So what's on the horizon for Hip Chicks? What's coming up in the next rest of this year? Oh, she's
Oh my
laughing.
gosh.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot these days.
Right?
Trying
to find out what the people want.
Well, I mean, first, we were making wine, and then all of a sudden that amazing pandemic had to hit and shut everybody down.
And that was 5 years ago. Do you realize that?
I know, it was 5 years
ago.
It doesn't
I can't
feel.
believe that.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like 5 years ago. It feels like it just happened. I think wineries across the U.S. are at a place right now where we're all having to kind of take stock of what's happening politically, what's happening with wine drinkers specifically,
or any drinker.
There's a challenge to getting people in the doors these days
for everybody
across the country. I think a lot of people changed their habits with all the pandemic closures. We all changed like how we go out and socialize or not socialize. And having that happen nationwide like really changed a lot of people's buying habits. I think right now folks are also needing to be conservative with their money. We're looking at what's happening in the stock market. We're looking at, people losing jobs that they may have had for forever. I think the wine industry really has to take a look at sustainability. We have to be able to adapt to the time, adapt to what younger wine aficionados want.
Well, even not aficionados. I mean, it's like just people drinking in general, or not drinking, or semi-drinking. I mean, our 24-year-old son, he doesn't drink all the time, and there's certain things that he likes, and sometimes it's not our wine. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think too, there's been all this talk about tariffs and things. And to some degree, a lot of that is old news to us. I mean, our bottles, we've had tariffs on our bottles for years. People don't realize that you really can't buy domestic glass.
You can't. Nobody makes it. Why?
Oh.
Because it's expensive.
Yeah. So,
here,
most wineries are getting their glass from another country. Same thing with other closures. Our corks that we used to be made in America, and probably about a year and a half ago, they decided to move their production facility down to Mexico, which means the next time that I order corks, I'm probably going to be paying a tariff. And all of those things add up to making wine cost more.
Which people don't realize that, I mean, and it's hard to explain to somebody. You're like, I'm sorry, this costs more because, well, that happened. And they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think regular Joe consumer doesn't understand tariffs. I read an article yesterday that was talking about how 42% of Americans don't actually understand how tariffs work.
Because it's antiquated.
Therefore, they are pro-tariff because they think it's not actually affecting them when it does.
I'm not surprised.
So, last year we didn't make any wine. We had plenty of wine still in the barrel aging that we didn't have to go out and buy grapes. And knowing that there were going to be a lot of ups and downs in our economy, we decided just to tighten our belt just a little bit. Wow. This year we will make a small amount of wine, but it's going to be all either whites or rosés, because we still have a little bit of red backstock. And so we can bottle that and try to, again, keep that belt tight as we look to see what's happening with our economy over the next couple of years. In my perfect world, then we'll start growing more. But I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon of buying all the grapes I can because somebody has to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely want to reach out to a couple of growers that I've talked to recently and, pick a couple of varietals that we've never worked with before.
Again, for that experimentation thing, the whole idea of we are looking to get younger drinkers enamored with us, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So again, it's the whole idea of you need to think of something different, which I think is kind of interesting for us because I actually had somebody ask us for Lambrusco.
Really?
Right?
Which is not a very common. That's not a very common grape here.
Like that's shit my parents drank in the 70s, people.
Yes.
And is that coming back? Okay, you want that? I'll totally make some red, sparkly, sweet wine for you. Boom. Isn't it crazy?
It would be a hipper, cooler Lambrusco,
That's
obviously.
Right?
I mean, like, so it's that whole idea of like trying to find a little bit of something that's different enough to attract them. I mean, and nobody our age is going to be like, what? You're making Lambrusco? Get out.
It's my mom's wine.
It's mom's wine. Yeah, seriously.
Well, and we are going to experiment. We've had a lot of folks asking us for sparkling wines over the years. And when you're our size, making sparkling wine really isn't a very viable project. But we are going to take some of our Pinot Gris out to another facility and have it force carbonated.
Okay. Wow.
And I think that will be something fun, something different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that much. It's only going to be like 115 cases. So,
But for us, that's a lot.
That is a lot. But I mean, if enough people have been asking for it, we'll just give the people what they want.
Heck yeah.
Because I'm here to sell.
Oh, I love that idea. That's so unique. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this is so great, you guys. I mean, hats off to you both. I mean, this is just, you guys are, in my definition, pioneers in a way, because you've really done some stuff that hasn't been done before. And I mean, bravo, that's really brave and courageous. I know it seemed like a big giant adventure to you, but it's very courageous and for some people would be pretty scary.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was scary. I'm not saying that this wasn't anything that we're like, oh, let's just do this. No.
Yeah.
It was with a lot of gravity that we made these decisions, but it's the whole idea. Go ahead, Laurie, tell them.
Well, my way of thinking had always been that I didn't want to wake up one day an old woman and wish I would have.
Yeah.
And, people spend their whole lives waiting for the right time to do things, the right time to get married or the right time to propose or the right time to buy a house or the right time to have kids. There's never going to be a right time. And if you are sitting around waiting for the right time to happen, your life is going to pass you by.
Boom.
And so, I've always thought, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm shocked we're still in business. Like,
Serio.
I wake up most days thinking we're still in business again. Like, look at that. And there have been some times over the past 26 years when I didn't know if we were going to make it till the end of the year. But
it's a labor of love is what we're saying. You have to be passionate about what you do.
Yeah. Well, and I will always be inspired by that Teddy Roosevelt quote that Brene Brown made so famous about, dare greatly. If you're going to go out and try something and you fail, then at least you failed daring greatly. I definitely want to live my life that way.
Yeah.
And it has been an inspiration. I mean, we've had people over the years that have worked for us that are now winemakers. One of them's the winemaker at one of the largest wineries in Oregon
right now.
Yeah. And she started out as our sales rep. Like, how crazy is that?
3 years ago.
And she's not the only one. I mean, we've had the chance to mentor younger women in the industry. We've had the chance to make wines that people have chosen to pour at their wedding, pour at their anniversaries. I love that idea of the fact that what we have created
People
is
celebrate.
It's a part of people's best memories.
That's what you're going for. You're going for to give people a lasting memory through a glass of wine.
Yeah. Wine is so much more than just a beverage. It really is an experience. And I love being able to see people who enjoy sharing that with others.
Absolutely. Because that's what it's all about.
Oh, that's so special, though, you guys. That's great. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, just having to be a part of people's lives like that.
Yeah.
It's just so wonderful. Yeah, for sure. Well, cheers to that.
Yes, cheers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that red is so good.
It just gets better as it opens up.
It does, actually. I'm noticing as it's sitting here, as it's opening up, really good. Yeah. Well, this has been such a great talk. I'm so happy that you guys joined me on this. I want everybody to know about your wines. So
fantastic.
Yes. So tell people how they can get in touch with you and find your wines and all of that. I know you have a wine club and you ship, right?
Yes. Okay. So the best place to go to find out about all of our wines is just to go to our website, hipchicksdowine.com. Mm-hmm. We have all of our Hip Chick wines on that website, and we have a special brand that we named after our son, which is called Tiernan Connor Cellars. So those are our reserve wines, and so folks can find out all about those wines on our website too. You can also find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Threads. All of those are at Hip Chicks Do Wine. I post about our wine and food pairings there. Right now, we're also being a part of a national campaign called Share and Pair. So especially
awesome campaign.
Yeah.
Awesome campaign.
Especially if you're on Instagram, you'll see different posts every Sunday. It's called Share and Pair Sundays. So every Sunday, I'm going to be posting a wine and food pairing and or wine, food, and experience pairing. So yeah, that's a lot of fun too. But yeah, we have a wine club. We ship to any state that it's legal to ship to.
Nice. Okay.
And we're open to the public for wine tasting Friday through Sunday or Monday through Thursday by appointment. And so if folks do come to Portland to visit, they can come in and try wines and we'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. Well, we've been joined by our furry friend.
Here we are. This is RuPaul. He's small, black, and fierce.
Oh. Well, thank you guys so much. I am so appreciative of your time and wanting to come on and share your story. This is great.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, part of my sort of dream with this podcast, too, was to shine light on these smaller wineries that don't get the attention and are putting out some fabulous wines. So I've been very fortunate to talk to a lot of great women winemakers the last couple of weeks and hear stories.
Fantastic.
It's very inspiring, and the wines are delicious, and I'd rather drink that than anything, than support the big guys. I mean, that's great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.